Yeah, it's I agree with you that I think that there should be some sort of we'll call it a statute of limitations or something
Yeah.
like that for the VA, right? Like maybe you can only go back maybe a 1 or 2 year period, and anything beyond that, well, sorry VA, you're stuck holding the bag. I'm down for that. I'm also down for more information up front. Don't assume, VA, this is to the VA, don't assume that everybody that's applying for benefits understands everything about the benefit. A red sheet of paper with big letters that say whatever you need to say in like a few words as possible that are no more than 5 letters long, right? That's what you need to do for everybody, right? It needs to be something that's super easy to understand, not a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, and oh, by the way, if you have any questions regarding this, call us, or beware. We may come back and take your money. Beware. If you have any questions about this, call us.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever it is, right? So somehow, some way, they need to do a better job of informing folks, because having it even on their website for VA pension, yeah, they give examples, but it doesn't really spell it out, right? Very good, right? So here's the maximum allowable pension rates as of December 1st, 2023. So whatever, 8 months ago, is when this went into effect with the cost of living. This is affected by the cost of living adjustment of the 3.2 that we realized. And if you're a veteran alone with no dependents, it's $16,551. If you qualify for housebound benefits, it's $20,226, and this is per year. And if you qualify for aid and attendance benefits, it's $27,609. Then there's, different, it's just like disability compensation. There's all different add-ons if you have a spouse, if you have a dependent, and it just goes on and on. But just to give you a few, as a veteran alone, that's what you're looking at. One of the examples that they give here, which kind of goes back to the idea of, if you're receiving money from somewhere else, how does that impact your pension? And if you think about it, it makes sense, but most people don't think too deep into this stuff. If you think to yourself, okay, if I did really good in my civilian job and I socked away all this money and I have millions of dollars in my 401k, now granted, that would be a disqualifier anyway for pension, because you can only have a certain amount of assets. But let's take that out of the equation for a minute and just pretend that you have this like an annuity or 401k disbursements, right, of $10,000 a month. Do you really think you're going to qualify for pension? Do you think that that's going to affect your ability to qualify? If so, because the answer is yes, then why wouldn't smaller amounts count toward pension as well in some sort of a way? So that's kind of how they're looking at it. The example that they give here, and again, it doesn't spell out Social Security, so people think, well, this isn't money that I socked away, although you did in a weird way.
Yeah.
But you don't think I took this out of my, I know. I didn't take this money out of my pocket and intentionally put it over here, and I'm not actually working. I'm not receiving income. We think income is I work for a job and I'm getting paid. So this is their example. You're a qualified veteran with a dependent, non-veteran spouse, and no children. You also qualify for aid and attendance benefits based on your disabilities. You and your spouse have a combined yearly income, because it's household income. You and your spouse have a yearly income of $10,000. That's all they say. They're not saying Social Security, right? They're saying income. When they say income, they mean any money coming into your household, right? To your names, right? That's provable. All right. So $10,000 of provable income from anywhere. So your maximum allowable pension rate is $32,729. That's because you have a spouse and you have aid and attendance benefits. So $32,729 per year is your maximum allowable. What maximum allowable means is if you have zero income from anywhere else, that's what you can get, $32,729. But in this case, you got $10,000 a month coming in from wherever, Social Security, right? And now they subtract that and they leave your VA pension at $22,729 because they subtracted that $10,000 from the overall maximum allowable pension rate. Then that breaks down per month and you get $1,894 per month in your pocket, tax-free from pension. So is it better than not having anything? I mean, obviously, yes. But it is at the end of the day, Clay, you would much rather try to go down the road of disability compensation if you can. But on the flip side, in this example, and I want to get your thoughts on this because a lot of people don't talk about this on YouTube, right? Everybody, granted, I don't watch everybody's videos. I watch your videos, Clay. That's who
I watch yours too, Jason. Thank you.
All right. So people don't talk about this. Veteran is low or no income, files for disability compensation, gets rated at 40%, 50%, and they're like, whatever they're at, $1,500 a month or something like that. Well, if that veteran qualifies for pension, in this example, they would actually get $1,894 per month. So what's better? Should they go for pension or should they take right? So there are some, especially if they're sub the ability to qualify for TDIU. And even if you are sub the requirement, you should still apply for TDIU, roll the dice and see if they'll accept you even with lower ratings. But if they deny you, then it could be another option for you to slide over, especially if you have a spouse or children or children, and you need additional resources like housebound or aid in attendance, because you could potentially get more per month through pension. Just be mindful of the whole situation, right? With regard to any other incomes coming in. But it is something that's not really talked about to segue over. And it's not talked about the other way either, to go, try to go over to, nobody talks about how they can kind of go back and forth. So anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on any of that, Clay.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna punch the VA actually. I'm turning my anger towards the VA. So I like how you mentioned there are other ways to TDIU that are not listed in the criteria on VA's website for TDIU, which is insane to me that the VA doesn't share that information. One example is in the M21 TAC 1 for migraines. You're only rated for migraines at 50%. That alone can grant you TDIU, right? There are all these little policy things that the VA doesn't talk about. And guess what? They have multiple YouTube channels, by the way, not just one. The VA has multiple YouTube channels, and I'm not hating the sit rep at all. All I'm saying is the information they're pushing out, majority of veterans don't care about, right? Like get where are the changes at? Why is no one talking about the changes? Why is it that myself, Jason, Claims Academy, Craig, why is it that we are the giver of information and not the VA? One, riddle me that. And then two, on the pension side of the house, especially because if you talk about Social Security, one of the first comments any veteran will make is, oh, Social Security is different. It's separate from VA. It's like, that's true, except, and then you have all these exceptions like VA pension. And so it's not, it goes back to, it's twofold. One, yes, the VA is absolutely trash. They're terrible at pushing information. Let's take claims out of it. When it comes to pushing information, they just don't exist, which is insane because they have public affairs officers whose sole job is to push information. But I'll kind of get off that boat. And then the other thing is, I think veterans have to be informed. They have to inform themselves because of that aspect. That's really my big takeaway from this. To that Marine who owes money back, and it's not just him. A VA automated processing system found that. And so how many other veterans are affected who didn't reach out to a news channel? That was like Tampa Bay, right. I think, whatever news it was, We don't know. We don't know what that number is, all because of a VA mistake. And to be honest with you, the amount of, if you're already a $15 billion budget shortfall, just give it to the dude, man. You know, just, it's 108 grand. It was your mistake, VA, for multiple mistakes over each single year. It was at least one mistake on the VA's part. What are we doing? You know, like, are you really going to take $221 away from this dude whose home is probably breaking down? You know, like he has a plumbing issue, and now that $221 could have helped with the plumbing issue because his overall income is what you said, 33 was like the max income. Okay. It's insane to me. That's all I got, Jason.